those hard,
True.
appreciate it. Yeah, so for those who don't know what I do is I work on cannabis issues, so Manitou's facing a pretty big one here coming up. You guys might be even feeling a little bit of a tear in the community over it. And it's really a question of whether or not one place should stay open for business, or if we should go back to the way things have always been for 80 years, or our parents' way, or grandparents' way. And not sure how it's going to go. I think there's been a lot of discussion around it. I think when people voted for Amendment 64, it was 68% in Manitou. It's one of the most friendliest, openest, most open communities that I think anybody's ever run into. And so by that mandate, you sort of had the city council come to a process and determine the regulations of 2 places on the east side. So just allowing free market to move forward, or allowing the will of voters to move forward. And I feel like we've sort of stepped back in a lot of ways as a community, and are still asking ourselves, should this be the way it is? And that original vote really answered a lot of those questions. Yeah, it should be. It's safer than alcohol. Adults are going to make their choice, independent, and they shouldn't go to jail for it. So we're arresting 12,000 less people in Colorado. We're actually showing declines in teen use since we can control it and keep it behind the counters. So I'm pretty passionate about sort of the results, the facts, away from the fears. And I feel like we still are listening to an old way of thinking about this. So when it comes to Manitou, whether or not you guys are registered to vote, or what's coming up in November, I hope to be able to succinct sort of my thoughts, my feelings about that particular issue. Maybe another here into a poem that might make more sense, because I still feel it's up in the air for a lot of people. And I still feel like we have minds to open around it. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there for now. But I'm happy to talk to anybody, and thank you, Luke, for acknowledging that. When I ran that whole campaign here, it wasn't just Colorado Springs, it was Manitou too. And a lot of people came out and supported. A lot of businesses were supportive, and now it's sort of changed the conversation around this, which is, it's interesting to see more than anything else. So I'll share some different thoughts and feelings on that, and I don't want to necessarily be up here for the stares and the judgments and whatever else might be going through people's heads about it, because it's its own thing. But I do want to share something from me. So thanks again for listening, everybody. Brasileiro nunca impede movimento, because we move with the universe, more natural than rivers. It's like the very ebb and flow of our language calls into motion the tribal rhythms in our skin, still pulsing in the sun, because melanin stores genetic memory, telling stories of where we all came from. There's more science in my spirit than religion, even though Mormonism is what my first generation Brazilian mom raised me in. But it never sat quite right with my spirit, like Boy Scouts did, which always inspired me to rise to any challenge, to be prepared, because life can never defeat the strength of character in ancestor colors of brown over blood and bone. And home has always been ancient, a place held sacred, buried under chest plate breast, inscribed with universe, by glyphs, runic symbols in earth, scratched messages like tombstones that sounded hollow when read through the crackling of eagle bones and monkey teeth around my neck, offering spiritual safe passage to the spiritually connected who never fear the shaman medicine man in moving. Don't stop moving. Words wrapped in leather like spells, unraveled in scrolls, clacking to the moving sun, carried on dust storms in ancestral tongues, casting curses and blessings. A genetic memory remembering more than this incarnation. And in dreams, whispers move my spirit to scratch earth, revealing pictures as revelation to remember more than I've forgotten in this lifetime. Forgive me last wind etches my chest open, dust, fossils will carry my message from my breastplate, and I can only hope that someday I might find them again. Bleached remnants of myself, buried under the mountain of my youth, grown old. And again, I will listen for the spirit resonance in the truth of existence to reveal to my mind the shadows of my own creation, light intercepting object, and I pray that this medicine may heal me again from the wounds I inflicted on everyone because of the pain of ripping breast grown open. Again, to write and inscribe revelation like redemption, spitting out lies through teeth like machine gun fire, friendly, meant to protect those massacred, and I'm sorry. I could never shoot straight enough to hit my honesty, that my integrity broke as badly as my heart when she said she would leave me, that it took me this long to find the courage and set it free. From breastplate tombstone, from the confines of my best intentions and demons, praying, taking prisoners of war on the battleground of my spirit. And it was never my intention to hurt you in self-defense. She was the most honest secret I hid in plain view. Then a sorry, and sorry, sorry, and sorry, like spent shells lying in pools of trust, smoke on my tongue, my words clacking hollow instead of ringing true, monkey teeth and eagle bone. And you smiled through, blue eyes crying river through canyon, salt taste in my mouth. Like I'm drowning on doubt as you confess words forever etched on my tombstone. And all I can hear is the death knells and the sounds of our hearts breaking. Echoing curses and blessings off canyon walls cut deeply under the southern cross of the northern sky, making cocoons in the scars of our hearts. Tough tissue, a birthplace for redemption and resurrection. The deaths of 1,000 poets, gasping one last verse into each flutter of blessing and curse, bursting from hearts still dancing to the tune of each other, in rhythm to the movement of one another. And in the moments before we kiss, we breathe each other in, worship at the altar of our divine nature, accepting all that we are and will never be. These tunes, these rooms, still remembering, more than this incarnation, more than spent shells and desperation, forgiveness and acceptance, redemption. And I know what Jesus must have felt like because I've sacrificed myself to save myself. And that I wish that every mirror I've ever encountered would reflect the same message throughout this existence. Now I get it. Etch. Now is all there is.